Plaintiffs Ron Jeremy and Scarlett Schmidt work together on the Nudes-A-Poppin pageant, the largest nude beauty contest in the world. They're suing a former winner of the pageant, Audrey Moore, who they hired to co-host the pageant with Ron. But they say the defendant didn't show up, so they're suing for breach of contract. Audrey says she won 4 titles the first time she participated in the pageant, but when she was given the opportunity to co-host with Ron, she got nervous, drank too much, and missed her flight.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Janine Pirro presiding.
Hello, James.
Afternoon, Judge.
How are you?
Good. You may be seated.
All right. Good afternoon. Today, Ron Jeremy and Scarlett Schmidt are suing Audrey Moore. They are alleging that she has breached her contract. Mr. Jeremy, how are you today?
Fine, thank you, Your Honor.
Do you want to tell me why you're here?
Yes, I'm here because I worked with the Ponderosa Sun Club for many, many years, starting in 1983, when I actually danced once, then became an MC. That's when I was a bit thinner before I went to the buffet. I went from Playgirl magazine to Field and Stream, but that's a whole other story.
Oh, so no, it isn't another story. Let's back up for a minute. You are how would you describe yourself?
A chunky adult film actor who does mainstream films and reality shows.
Look, I know your reputation. You are you said reality TV, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah,
you were a porn star.
That too.
Okay, that too. Okay, so how'd you get into that business?
I did a lot of theater off Broadway. I became a teacher. I have a master's degree, special ed.
You were a teacher?
Yeah, and that's scary.
You see, that's why parents need to watch these teachers with their kids, okay?
There's an organization called Fathers Against Ron Teaching, or FART. Okay, I made that up. But actually, I did teach about a year and a half, special ed, and I got my master's and also got a BA in theater and education. I quit teaching to do theater, and then the job market was so lousy for actors when I was approached to do Playgirl magazine. When I was skinny, worked out in the gym. Then I did Playgirl, then from that went on to adult movies.
Mr. Jeremy, there are a lot of skinny people who work out in the gym. How did you get into the porn industry?
I was after Playgirl magazine, which I did. My girlfriend sent a picture.
How did you get into that?
My girlfriend sent a picture of me into Playgirl back in 1978. They published it, and then from there I was nude, and then from there I was approached by a director named Joe to do adult movies. And I said, well, a lot of the same directors were doing both. So if they liked my work and the adult, they'll put me in the regular films, which is exactly what happened. I worked on a film with Jack Lemon's son, Chris Lemon, which got me to the Screen Actors Guild, and then from there on it went on to doing mainstream and adult side by side. Just got a lot better known for the adult, a lot. And music videos also.
Okay, all right. Well, very interesting. And how long have you been doing this?
9 3/4. Oh, sorry. How long have I been doing this for? About.
Oh, for what amount of time might that be?
29 years.
Okay. All right. Now, you are suing Audrey Moore for breach of contract. What contract is it that you allege that she breached?
Every year, I've been doing this show at the Ponderosa Sun Club, Nudes-A-Poppin, for the last 23 years. 25 years.
What is Nudes-A-Popping?
Nudes-A-Poppin is a show right near Chicago. It's an hour and 20 minutes out of Chicago. It's the Miss Nude North America pageant.
What is that?
It's the largest beauty contest, nude beauty contest in the world, where women compete. Girls who are like dancers who make maybe $1,000 a week compete for this contest, and if they win a prize, they can become a feature entertainer and go on to making $1,000 a day, if not more. It's a contest where girls from all over the Midwest compete, dancers, strippers, compete to win these trophies, Miss Nude North America, Miss Nude Galaxy, Showstopper, the various awards. We have an audience of 6,000 people. Wow. I MC the show. It's usually me, a female porn star or dancer, and usually a celebrity. We've had Kid Rock, Korn, we've had Gene Simmons, Grandpa Munster, we've had a lot of Slash, we have a lot of celebrities.
So you have this show, Nudes-A-Popping, or this contest.
Right.
And in this contest, somehow the defendant is involved.
Yes, we called up Audrey, because she's won so many contests before, an attractive girl, popular dancer, the audience loves her, so we called her to be our MC with me and her and John Popper from Blues Traveler. The three of us are going to MC the show. There's also guys who compete. So she would introduce the men, 25 guys, and me and John Popper would introduce about 100 women who compete. And again, for an audience of 6,000 people. It's a very big show.
Okay.
I have some pictures and things of her competing, and
let's see it. All right, while I'm getting that evidence, Mr. Jeremy, how many adult films have you done, and what does that translate in terms of sexual partners?
I have the world's record, probably about almost 2,000 adult movies. They say roughly about 4,000 partners in my life.
4,000, and you're still standing here?
Barely. I'm leaning on the desk, as you noticed. No.
Okay. All right, now who is this?
that's Audrey.
This is you?
That's when she won a few years ago, I believe.
Sunday, July 20th, Nudes-A-Popping, starring Ron Jeremy, the legend. Now, how come all the women are undressed and you're dressed? How come you get to be dressed and they don't?
Well, where the there's no room on stage for me and my schmeckle. No, the fact is, I host.
Back to the lawsuit. Okay, now. All right, so you are suing Audrey Moore, and let me ask you, Scarlett, what is your role in all of this?
I own the Ponderosa Sun Club with my mom and my sister. We own it.
Okay.
And then we host the Nudes-A-Poppin Festival.
It's a big community event. The whole town knows about it. Restaurants are full because of it. Hotels are full. There's 6,000 people every year.
So the taxpayers of America should be grateful to you, huh, Mr. Jeremy?
I like to think so. No, it's a very. In fact, it was written up in Maxim magazine and Stuff magazine as the top 50 party around the world.
And Ron's been helping me for the last 25 years.
I get the celebrities, like Gene Simmons and like Al
So
Lewis.
he'll make the contacts.
Okay.
And it's me, a celebrity, and a female porn star or dancer, as in the case her, would host the show. And then when she no-showed, we lose in advertising costs, and a flyer.
All right, so this lawsuit is basically a breach of contract. You hired her for this Nudes-A-Popping contest.
Didn't show.
She's a no-show, and now you're suing her. How'd you get into this business?
Well, in 2005, I was dating a male stripper. And his friends and the group of them were going to go to the Ponderosa Sun Club to compete. And I went with them. I thought it'd be a good time. And I also am in some adult films. I have them here. If
All
you'd
right,
like
let's
to
see
look
it.
at them.
Very interesting. Very interesting world. All right, thanks, Jimmy. I was going to say which one is you, but I don't know that it matters. Okay, very nice.
Well, I am. Thank you. Well, I'm.
What does your mother think of this?
She was an entertainer also.
Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's just somewhat, foreign to someone like me.
Right. Well, ideally, I'd like to become a lawyer, so I'm working to make money to pay for law school.
So show up at your events, and maybe you can make enough money to go to law school.
Right.
So what happened?
Well, the first year I went, I won 4 titles. Here's some of the trophies here. I won Miss Petite Nude North America 2005.
Petite nude?
Yes, that goes on cup size.
Cup size?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I didn't vote. I just emceed.
So, and that's how I actually ended up meeting Ron. He was helping hand out the awards. 2006, I went again. In 2007, I came back again. I won an Audience Choice Award, Miss Hot Legs. And that's when they had approached me to host the following year.
Okay, so this would be for 2008.
Right.
What do you say when they ask you?
I was nervous. I was flattered. I was excited.
So you agreed?
Yes.
Was anything in writing?
No.
No, fairness, no. It never has been before. Wasn't with John
I'm not
Cropper
suggesting. I'm not suggesting that it should be. I'm just trying to get to the essence
funny,
of
in our industry, a lot of
disagreement.
things, like even when she's gotten booked for porn films, I'm sure that it wasn't in writing either in contracts. She showed up. If a director calls you on the phone and says, be on a porn set, she'll show up without a contract.
First of all, you don't have your pocketbook or your jacket with you, so how are you going to put something in writing anyway? I mean, okay, so I get it.
That's a valid point.
Mr. Jeremy, it's an oral contract, okay?
Nicely said.
Yes, and legally. Okay, so we have a meeting of the minds. It's an oral contract. There's nothing in writing. You agree that you're going to co-host Nudes-A-Popping in July of 2008 after they request. Tell me about that. Tell me about that day. What happens?
Well, we had almost no notice till she missed her.
So Saturday gets here, because Sunday's the event. So then on Saturday, she's supposed to fly in. So her flight comes in, and my driver, I called him. I'm like, do you have Audrey? And he's like, I can't find her. So then I called Ron, and I'm like, I need somebody by tomorrow.
She was panicking.
This is on Saturday, and the show's the next day. Ron got Jessica James to fill in for her.
Who?
I got a girl to come in and fill in for a girl. She's a hustler, centerfold, contract girl, Jessica James, very popular girl in the business.
Where were you?
I missed my flight.
How?
I was really nervous, and I started drinking. Now, I'm not an alcoholic. I was just really scared, and I got a little too intoxicated.
What were you scared of?
It's a big deal. It's a big,
You take your clothes off for a living. What's to be scared of? I don't understand.
This is 6,000 people.
Yes, co-hosting is a little different because
You have
there's
to talk
so many,
and
right?
announce people.
You have to talk, too.
Yeah.
You gotta keep no, really.
Well, it's hard.
It's not as easy as it looks. You have to keep the audience, have to keep it flowing.
All right, so what damages did you suffer?
We had to, I had some printing made.
Yeah, I have
was
that,
asking for, and then we had to-
$477.
Yes, and then we had to return some tickets. I think there's like 23 tickets on there.
How can you establish how many tickets you returned? What are you talking about? People just
People
come up?
that came back up and asked for their money back, for a refund, because they'd come to see Audrey and she wasn't there. And I thought it was the thing to do, was to give them their money back. If we promoted somebody and advertised somebody that they were going to be there, and if they're not there, it's...
You know what that's called? Goodwill. Did you have to? Probably not, but it was a smart thing to do. So do you realize what's going on? They advertise, they're excited, you're excited, they're more excited. People are giving them a hard time. They're looking for you at the airport, trying to figure out from the driver where you are, and you're drunk and hooked up in whatever city you were in. Shame on you.
I feel really bad. I am very sorry, but I don't feel that I owe them all the money, because they did end up replacing me with somebody who has a bigger name.
So you think that you can back out of a contract, oral or written, it really doesn't matter, because they had to use their connections and their contacts to replace you, and you think that they haven't suffered anything at all?
The show went on.
Wrong. All right, now, at the end of the day, what you're looking for is $1,980.
Correct.
So it's your printing fees, and it's the money that you return to individuals. How do I know that that's an accurate number?
No, I know they return money. I don't know the exact number, but I know they had to return money. Some people in the audience, some people were actually upset that she wasn't there, but they stayed to see the show anyway, so they weren't refunded.
The ones that wanted their money
I'm sure
back.
they weren't in the mood to leave at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to her that they actually were upset because they're seeing 100 beautiful ladies and all, you know.
Okay, all right. Anything else you want to say?
I do have some pictures of me winning, if you'd like to see those also.
Sure, why not?
I'll help you.
Okay.
Did you look at them before you handed them off to me? Is that what you just said, Jimmy? Oh, my goodness.
It's a bailiff's responsibility, of course.
So you know what happens? You're less shocked. The more you look at them, you get a little less shocked. Okay. What's with the sneakers? The issue for the court is whether or not the defendant has basically breached a contract, whether or not the plaintiffs have proven their case by a preponderance of the evidence, and at the end of the day, it's not a hard case, so to speak.
Again, nicely said.
At the end of the day, this is about whether or not the plaintiffs have suffered and have proven their case. And clearly, it is undisputed that the parties entered into an agreement that the defendant was to co-host a nude pageant called Nudes-A-Popping. She agreed to do it, and she didn't show up. Now, you had an expectation that you would get a certain number of people based upon the celebrity status of this individual. And the court finds that although you have proven your damages in the amount of $1,980, that is the cost of tickets that were refunded, the cost of advertising that they've proven to the court, which is breach of contract of $1,980, the court feels that the additional effort that the plaintiffs had to go through to replace this individual, for which they have not sought any money admirably, is one where I think you are entitled to even more than the $1,980. And so it is the verdict of this court that the plaintiff be reimbursed for the amount of $3,500 for their efforts in having to replace this defendant. That is the order of the court. So ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Plaintiff Robert Sturdivant is suing his stepdaughter's ex-boyfriend, Travis Wagner.